What's up?
Man, what's up with you?
I'm trying to do any and everything an entrepreneur knows how to do.
Yeah, you're getting your nose into everything, aren't you?
Right? Yeah, trying to.
Man, it's been 8 years since the last time I talked with you. What have you been up to over the past 8 years?
I think we've texted a little, but yeah, that's probably about right. Because I think you relocated. Is that right?
Yeah. No, I'm still in Charlotte. It's just that my goal was to jump into podcasting and to make it. When I first met you in 2015, podcasting was that thing that everybody said, "Oh, it's just a hobby." Look at where it's grown
Right.
now.
Now it's the deal, right?
Absolutely. Well, and your music is the deal too. Look at Tiny Towns, dude.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I got another one coming in the next week or two. It's part of an album, so we're just going to kind of, obviously like everybody does, we drop singles until whatever's going to happen. Either we put them all on an album or we reveal an EP or whatever it's going to be. But this is a full album, so we won't release every song as a single. That's not typically a plan. So that way, when the album's out, there's something on there that nobody's heard yet.
I'm starting to see a new trend when it comes to listening to music, and the younger generations aren't really interested in the streaming. What they want to do is they want to collect the albums and the CDs, and I think what they're yearning for that opportunity to have an escape, a full escape for 35 to 50 minutes.
Right. Yeah, I see that. I also see a short attention span when they are using any type of digital media. TikTok's, they're just constantly thumbing that thing, man. They're just, just getting through it. But yeah, the whole, the vinyl thing's coming back. People are looking for the full album experience, I think. And you see a lot of the big labels doing packages with, bigger artists. Like if you buy the album, you get a T-shirt and a koozie, or you might get a VIP experience, a concert, or, there's all these things to interact and get them involved with the full project. So I think that's cool, because I've always hated the idea of let's go record one song and put it out and come up with this plan to push it and do this, and then when it's done, if nothing happened, then you go to the next thing. But most, especially these young ones, they may be so distraught from nothing happening, thinking they're going to blow up, because that's the mental idea that everybody thinks and wants. But, so sometimes it can be, I guess, infuriating in a way, but at the same time. So anyway, I recorded this album during COVID, and now it's, so I've actually had quite a bit of time to put this thing out. So it's been good for me, because when the scene was dead, now it's just time. Now is the time. I'm with where I'm comfortable working with a smaller label and stuff like that. So,
one of the things that happened during the lockdown, a lot of listeners don't understand this, but during the lockdown, I was blessed with the opportunity to talk with singer-songwriters around the world and what they mentally went through, because, dude, we lost everything. I mean, even my performances, it was all gone. What were we going to do? There was this mysterious thing that was going on. And what I love about what you guys have done as songwriters is that you did lock down and you still became creative. And I've heard the stories of, well, you know what, this is probably the greatest project I've done because I had the time.
Right. Very true. That's the same for me. Because the album that I'm planning by the end of the year for it to be out, all these songs came, I say all, minus one or two or three, but the majority of this album came from COVID. It was written while we were stuck at home, and a lot of it was solo, or I'd start it and bring it to a writing room and finish it with co-writers or whatnot. But I think there's only one song on the whole album that I wasn't a part of writing.
Wow.
So out of 13 songs.
The song Tiny Towns is so relatable right now, because I don't know if you've seen the influx of people on the move. I mean, people are moving from California, they're moving from New York, they're moving from Miami, and they're coming to these small towns, and your song fits right into their new lifestyle. Yeah,
for sure. That song also is the theme song for a new TV show on the Outdoor Channel.
Really?
Yeah, the show's called Renovation Hunters. It's basically house flipping, but they're flipping cabin getaway, like vacation family getaways. So the whole idea is to bring the family oriented thing back to the kitchen table type deal, and they're flipping their house basically. And that's, when the show comes on, that's the theme song, and it's not supposed to leave. So it'll be and they're Just mutual friends over the years, man. I got people on the TV, NASCAR side, the hunting industry and stuff like that, and stay connected and whatnot. And I actually went out for the show. So part of the show, they'll have an artist. They're tied in with Nashville, and they have up and comers, and they've had others. The guy calls me and asked me if I could come perform on the show, because they have a segment in the show where when they do the reveal or they have a get together or whatnot with the family, they have an artist play for them.
That's cool.
So they brought my whole band in and we recorded. And I was on the first season. I'm now on the second season. We've already recorded that. I think second season starts in fall. And then while I was there for that recording, now the show hadn't aired yet, mind you, on the first season when we go the first time. And we get done with everything, and I'm talking to Hal, and he asked me about, hey man, I need a theme song. So we start talking about this and that, how I can write it for him. And I go, well, dude, I got a whole album done. I said, actually, there's 2 songs on this album that might fit. And they ended up picking Tiny Towns as it. He's like, this is it, man. And he said, I already see the intro. Like, we already got footage for this. I mean, this is it. So
wow.
That's how that was born. So.
Wow. Let's talk a little bit about reality, since we've been talking about the business side of music. And one of the things that I'm finding a lot of interest in, the world of AIs. How are you protecting your voice, your songwriting skills? Because, I mean, look, they copied Drake's voice, and now Paul McCartney is working with John Lennon's voice, and we're supposed to accept that.
Yeah, I saw it coming a long time ago, actually. I've always said, eventually, especially when streaming started taking over so much, I was like, man, one day we're not going to have to write a song and we're not going to have to sing it. They're just going to let the computer do it.
Yep.
I've always thought that in the back of my mind. Now it's here. I still think, like everything else, and it's been proven even prior to where technology is now, that, there's nothing like the human brain. So, I mean, it's always going to, it was obviously AI was created by us. I think it's something that the industry, it may or may, I don't think it'll ever go away from people actually doing. I think it'll be a combination. I don't know if the industry so much will let that happen, because, for one, the label could totally run off AI, but it's kind of like let's just use, I don't do this, but let's use politics. When people go, when the government pisses off enough of America, they'll turn on the government. Yeah. So if you piss off all the artists, they're going to turn on the labels. I think it's one of those things where it's going to be introduced, it's going to be there, it's going to happen. People are going to be involved, they're going to like it, especially the younger cats. Like, there's all these singing apps now where you can go on and correct your voice. Like, how hard that was for that to happen whenever I first started. Like, it was just auto-tune in a studio. You couldn't get it that simple at home. Yeah. So, and everybody has pitch correction. It's part of it. It's just been part of the industry for a long time now. But now they can literally do it on their cell phone. Jeez. And half of these music videos we're doing anymore, man, the high dollar cameras are there, but 50% of it's shot on an iPhone. They're now dedicated to the shoot. So they're not taking phone calls on it. They got a phone dedicated that they bought for shooting with, but it's still a phone, It's like, man. So it's rapidly changing. It's really crazy to see. I think it's cool. I'm not going to stop the way I'm doing it. Yeah. So to me, that itself creates the organic fan base that never leaves. AI I feel like it can be very much like 1 minute you can be visible, seen, heard, and the next minute you could be gone.
Yep.
Just it's that simple, because the attention span's so just gone. People don't, you look at the viewing time on analytics of when I look at myself, I'm like, wow, nobody watches very long. It counts for review, but it's like they didn't watch the whole. They didn't get to the best part. So you got to feed them that first. It seems like it's just crazy how things are going.
Do you think that's going to affect the length of a great song? Because you're right about that, about TikTok. People, even as a mobile entertainer, people will hear a minute and a half of a song, and they'll come up to me and say, "Get out of this! I'm done with this one. Come on, you got to move forward. Yeah. Get to the next song."
Yeah, for sure. I think a great song is a great song. So, those songs will always last, always be around. The singing shows to me is part of what's happening. Like whenever an artist is going to be discovered nowadays, if they're not already known, everybody wants to hear them sing something they know.
Yep.
So what do they pick? They pick a great song. They pick a known song. And then they then become something. Once they have that brand and that fan base there, then they create, typically a label's involved. Somebody's involved other than just that person or that artist or songwriter to help them, help direct them in a way to become their own thing. I feel like, I think AI is really new too. I don't know that can be considered like the new thing. It's so new, I think people like the connection because if you look at it this way, the live scene has really opened back up from what it was.
Yeah.
People want to go to shows and they can't, they're not going to watch a robot. Now, granted, there's technology out there that can create like somebody on stage fake out of CGI, but I think that people still want to connect with people, so. I feel like it's always going to be there. It's maybe just going to be a mixed community or something,
You're so right about that when it comes to live music because our Harris Teeter has live music every Thursday night. Yeah,
they hit me. The Harris Teeters around Charlotte constantly send me stuff, and usually I've just never been able to do it. And then it just kind of got to where I was doing other things, but yeah, it's crazy. Like the grocery store, got a live guy playing music in there, and you can go sit at their bar and drink a beer.
That's it.
And then go shopping.
That's it.
Make it home before curfew.
What do you like more, the live performance or the creation of a new song?
I think I like both.
Yeah.
The creation part is, to me, the most intriguing. Is you get the most out of it. I mean, you hear it all the time. Songwriters go, well, these are my babies. And it's 100% because I have both. I got songs and kids. So it's very much a very familiar feeling when you write a song, create it. It goes from me and a guitar or somebody in a piano, however they start the thing, to bringing it into a studio and it becomes what it becomes. Yeah, that's probably more fulfilling. But at the same time, after I've heard it 3,000 times, I'd rather just go play a show. So I think it's both.
Where can people go to find out more about you, about this new album, and give you some love? Because I'm sure you've got merchandise, dude.
Yeah, man. So matttuckermusic.com is my website. That's the easiest way to get me. All the links for socials are there. And then I'm on pretty much every platform there that's out there. And if not, if somebody wants me to get on one that I don't know about, shoot me a message somewhere. There's a contact link on my website, so that's probably the easiest way.
Excellent. Well, dude, you got to come back to this show anytime in the future, especially when you release that brand new song. I want to be talking to you about it. Let's break it down.
For sure. Yeah, man. So we should get together with the next week or so. July 7th is pre-saves. Isn't that crazy? We say pre-saves now instead of pre-sales. Pre-saves are July 7th. July 14th. Are streamits is what I call it, or downloads. Hey, listen, here's the crazy thing so when I first started, we were still doing CDs, obviously, and the streaming thing hadn't really busted in yet. But when it did, downloads you had to download it. There was no streaming service, right? You had to download the song digitally. Mm-hmm. So, and that's how artists charted, like on iTunes. It's not as hard to do anymore because most people stream. So if I can get everyone to download Honky Tonkin' All Night, that's the name of the song, Honky Tonkin' All Night. It's a 90s driven sound with a modern twist. Ooh. And we've got a line dance to it. There's going to be a cool video coming with it. But if we get everybody to download on Apple and help me chart on Apple, that's bigger than anything right now. And it only takes a few hundred to get charted with like Luke Combs, Jelly Roll, Cody Johnson. It's not hard. So if everybody downloads the song, that's even better. But if not, just stream it.
And you talked about that there's a line dance to it. So that means that are you going to go over to Coyote Joe's and teach that monkey?
I'm been plugging this bug in their ear. So, cause that's huge for them over there. And I know all those guys,
yeah.
The band, the staff, everybody there. I've played there quite a few times over the years. So yeah, I'm really pushing to get that added to their repertoire. the new DJ there, he's all over TikTok constantly and posting about their line dances. So we that's definitely a goal. I want this to. I'd love for it to be that whole. You remember Alan Jackson did the video of the world's largest line dance to the song. I believe the song was "Good Time." It's got that vibe for sure. So maybe we can be the next line dance.
There you go, man. Well, you have yourself a brilliant day today, okay, Matt?
You as well, buddy. I appreciate it. It was great talking.